Yo, what's going on, guys? Elijah here, founder of the Grindtribe, #1 fitness and health optimization for Black and brown entrepreneurs. And as always, man, I'm looking to bring conscious conversations from one high-level thinker to another. So I appreciate you for joining in today. And listen, before we even go into today's topic, I want you to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment if you end up finding this video interesting. And regardless, I just appreciate you giving me one of the most valuable things that you have, which is your time and your attention. And so check this out. We're gonna be tapping in today. And so I get this question a lot. Hey bro, so you don't coach white guys? So before we get started, man, the crown. I wanna explain the crown real quick. Shout out to my guy 19 Keys, man. He crowned me up at the recent InvestFest conference. And before you guys start asking if I'm Muslim or anything like that, because I know a lot of y'all don't read, okay, I'm not Muslim. The crown represents the universe to be topped at the crown of the head, right? And it's what it is a representation of freedom, a representation of equality, a representation of enlightenment, and it's a reminder that things are always bigger than self. So shout out to my brother 19 Keys, man. He is one of the very few influencers in the space that I really look up to the good work that brother's doing. So let's get back into it, man, right? You guys heard me say the #1 fitness and health optimization community for Black and brown men and entrepreneurs. So again, I get the question a lot, Elijah, why don't you work with white guys? Like, what is it about race that you only want to work with black guys? And that's a fairly valid question, right? And so what I want to do inside of this video is really give you guys, it's not necessarily me explaining myself, but it's really, I actually like when I get asked this question because I get to really show people the level of intention, purpose, and purity that I lead from the perspective of my business and how I want to serve the men that I serve as a coach, right? And so if you guys watch one of my recent videos on why I train, I've been a NASM certified personal trainer since I was 18 years old. Ascended into nutrition, health optimization, built my skill sets in this specific arena. Been doing it for a very long time. I used to coach a lot of people of all different spaces, races, and all that. So why is it that I've arrived at the point where I'm building a community really focused on uplifting my brothers and my brothers only? And you know, I want to really bring it back to #1, which I recently spoke about, which is the reason why I've found training and taking care of my body to be a part of my lifestyle, because I always found the purpose of it within my life. Like when I first started training, it was because I wanted to get myself healthier, positive space. Then it was for my confidence. Then it was for my business. Now it's just for life, it's to show up. And so side of that, you know, I began to learn that you're going to experience things differently in life based on where you're from, who you are, and what you look like. That's just the reality. Some of those experiences are going to be positive. Some of those experiences are going to be negative, right? And what I don't want to go into is the conversation about race. That's not what this video specifically is for, because my program is a lot less about focusing on men based on race, and it's a lot more about focusing on men based on culture. And I say that to say, I really began to push the Grindtribe in the movement after I was running my first tech business. Fresh out of college, I was running this tech business. We were building a hardware, refrigeration, vending machine style product for college campuses. Something that just ended up, you know, it came from an idea and a problem that we saw the opportunity to solve, and it turned into something that we were raising money for, building a team. It was me and 2 other co-founders. Both of them happened to be brown. And throughout this process, I learned so much, right? I'm post-college, I'm a regular cat from Long Island. I'm running a tech business. I've never seen something like this for myself. And I was doing it in Buffalo, New York. Now, if anybody knows anything about Buffalo, New York, it's racist as fucking Buffalo, New York. Love Buffalo. I met a lot of great people up there, great peeps, but the reality is ridiculously racist. So trying to build a tech business up there as a black man, as a black conscious man, was definitely an interesting experience. So I say that to say, throughout my journey, doing what we do, trying to build a product, testing it out in the marketplace, getting customer validation of the product, trying to build the minimum version of it, a beta test it, trying to get investors to see that you got enough traction so they can give you money so that you can put back into the business to grow, moving at a super high speed. I began to make mistakes. I began to get burnt out, cranking out hours, working the long days, and I really just started to find myself in a position where I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety. I'm dealing with depression. Sometimes I'm bumping heads with my other 2 co-founders. And I found myself in a position where the lack of mindfulness around my health, especially my mental health, started to spill into the physical health, right? Lack of energy. And it got to the point where a business that really needed me to be at a very high on a mental level, I was starting to not be there. And what began to happen is, and when you run in a hard tech business, if anybody that works in tech understands that you have something called a burn rate. A burn rate is how much money your business is gonna spend before you actually start making money. When you're focusing on a hard tech business, AKA a physical device, you're not just producing the software, you're producing a physical device. So you gotta move at a high level of speed, and the mistakes that you make is gonna cost you a lot more money. So I say that to say, the importance of thinking at a high level is paramount. And so I'm running this startup, I'm new to the game, I'm learning fast, but I ended up getting burnt out, dealing with anxiety, arguing with my founders, having fallouts, making mistakes that ended up costing me the business. And I came to this crazy epiphany because one of the biggest known facts around trying to build a company in tech, trying to search venture capital, is that only less than 1% of venture capital goes to black founders. So I'm in this position now where I'm essentially working in this limbo where we don't have a lot of capital, we don't have a lot of skill sets, we're trying to just hustle and grind it away. And I'm telling myself that same story my mom told me. Yeah, I know people who are white got access to more money, they got access to more capital, they got more relativity to the people in the room with capital, but I'm not gonna use that excuse. I'm gonna keep on hustling. I'm gonna hustle 10 times as hard as a person who doesn't look like me to get where they're at. And I did that, and I just burned out, and I made emotional decisions that ended up in the long run costing me the business as those decisions began to compound into eventually a crash. And so why is this important, and what the hell does it have to do with my fitness platform and me working with men that look like myself? Well, what I learned from this is that in this process, when you're a man that's trying to build something, you have to have confidence, you have to have energy, you have to have capacity. Because before you can leverage capital, before you can leverage people, the only thing that you can really leverage is yourself. And so for most guys that don't take care of themselves, they start to become a slave to their body. Their body begins to hold them back in business. And me just seeing from a statistical level how much of a disadvantage we sometimes move in business, I was like, man, there's no way that we can afford to be out here operating at a lower capacity as a result of not taking care of ourselves, because that's the simplest thing that we can do. And so that just became my whole message. Like, yo, this is about confidence, this is about capacity, because here's the reality. Again, building something, you build it in your body of work. You have to be connected at an intuitive level. Your intuition, man, is what's gonna allow you to grow. It's what's gonna allow you to make the right decisions. Your intuition tells you, I shouldn't be messing with this girl. Your intuition tells you, this is not a good deal. I don't like this investor. This is not a good partnership. Your intuition is what tells you or gives you certain parameters around really, really important decisions that you make. And as an entrepreneur, especially, or just a guy that works in a very high speed, fast paced moving environment where your decisions are important, you gotta be connected with that level of intuitiveness. And so as I sit here and I observe the fact that we got a lot of men right now getting after the bag, but they're not taking care of themselves. They chasing money, but they out of shape, they fat, they're not confident. I'm sitting here like, bro, you can't afford not to be at your best physical and mental for what you got going on. And that has everything to do with the adversity that we face and the culture that we come from. Because when you're trying to build a startup or you're trying to build a company, you're not only dealing with those levels of adversity external, you're dealing with those levels of adversities internal. You start to deal with all the traumas or the mental trigger points or emotions that come from maybe coming from a dysfunctional environment, or maybe coming from an immigrant household where, you know what I'm saying, work and hustle, all of that push. You have to rethink, you have to rebuild your belief patterns that are going to serve you in a way that's going to build your business. If you're not connected to your intuition, if you don't have confidence, if you don't understand who you are, it's going to be very hard to do that. So what I'm building is a community of men that think in foresight, and a community of men that look like myself that are able to think in foresight. Because I know one thing, one day I'm going to be extremely wealthy, and I want to be able to enjoy my wealth. I want to be able to consciously work my way up to wealth. I'm not sacrificing my relationships. I'm not sacrificing my health. You will never, ever catch me out of shape. Why? Because when I look good and I feel good, I'm just better as a man. And when I'm better as a man, everything else around me is better. My business, my relationships, my life. And so it's a lot of context that comes from this message that I preach. That's why my message is so much bigger than just fitness for y'all, man. It's so much bigger than fitness for y'all. You see what I'm saying here? And that's not just the only thing. It's not just about my experiences on a negative side in business, because I've had a lot of positive experiences in business, but I just had to put that out there. But also, like, the simple fact that we come from a community where there's a large lack of leadership and masculinity, a large lack of accountability. Now, when you start to get your body together, what do you need? You need to lead yourself. You need accountability. It helps strengthen your masculinity. At the end of the day, you can't lead nobody else if you can't lead yourself. One of the biggest factors when we observe the phenomena of the black community is fatherless home. What is that? Ultimately, that's the lack of leadership. Men not being groomed into men, not having values, not knowing how to think for themselves or stand for certain things, and as a result, becoming victims to set systems and circumstances. I understand what that is, and so we can complain and point the finger, or we can create solutions. Y'all see the crown. Crown represents enlightenment. Enlightened men don't complain and point the finger. We search for solutions. And so the Grind Tribe, this is a lifestyle. This is a movement. Because I'm pushing my brothers to be conscious, to be healthy, to be fit, to be confident. Why? Because we have no choice not to. We are going to create the narrative and normalize this. Because right now, our community still normalizes negativity, dysfunction, and all that we still got to battle up against. Whether you come from the richest black family or not, whether you poor or whether you know what I'm saying, you sit in the bourgeoisie, you work a nice corporate job, you're still going to have a certain experience because you're black. You're still going to understand certain nuances, certain things that are pitted up against you because you're black. And so when we think about this, the whole thing holistically, I want everybody to understand, like, I'm pro-black as fuck. Definitely not anti-white. That would only make me as evil as my oppressor, but that's a conversation for another time, right? I want y'all to understand that I took my skill set as a coach, fitness, health, and I aligned it with my purpose and my aspire to want to see men like myself grow and elevate. And I created a community around it. A community that allows me to serve the people that I work with at the highest level. Because if you want to get in shape, you want to elevate your consciousness, you're not going to come on my community and be working out with moms or like lacrosse players or like, nah, it's a very select niche group of men that have similar desires, that have similar challenges. What does that allow me to do as a coach, right? This is real business talk here. It allows me to serve at a higher level, create more impact, create better results. That's why the guys that I work with, I get really, really good results. And so everything I do, I move from a place of calculation, but also a place of intention and purpose. Because I'm a conscious man. I can't do work that's not connected to my purpose, that's not connected to my passions. I'm just incompetent in those spaces. But when you put me in something that aligns with what I believe in and what I value, I excel. AKA what I'm doing right now, the Grind Tribe, I'm creating a community where all the brothers I work with can excel, starting with themselves. Because we normalizing excellence, we normalizing being a man holistically. Anybody can get the bag. Getting the bag is not hard. It's 2021. But can you get the bag and be healthy and be fit and be confident and show up as a man and be present in your life? These are when you start to connect this higher conscious message. And this message ain't for everybody. Just because I work with black and minority men that also identify with the struggle doesn't mean I work with every black or brown guy. Nah, I work with upper mobile guys who are about shit. This ain't a charity. People thinking, yo, how can I support? Bro, my business is a premier coaching business, bro. I'm not a charity. You feel me? Sometimes I be having to put it out there because I guess people do thinking just because I'm helping the community in a way, like I'm actually a charity. Nah, bro, I work with hiring men that want to get fit, that want to take it to the next level with themselves. Why? Because if I can create healthier men, healthier leaders, then I can magnify my impact on the community with men that serve in different capacities. And so I hope you guys find value in just understanding of not only understanding, hearing me out, my story. I always vulnerably share my wins and my losses, especially in business. First business was a flop. It went bad. It fell out, but I learned a lot from it, right? It also gave me purpose. It gave me intention to take a skill set that I already have and to deepen it so I can move it with purpose and create more value for my community inside of the marketplace and for myself. The Grind Tribe, bro, this shit is a lifestyle. It's gonna be around because I'm gonna keep on pushing it because it's what I believe in. This is a business I can see myself growing with for the next 10 years. I had a mentor from Techstars when I was running my tech business. He said, Elijah, I know you pitch to these investors this little 5-year J curve, but can you see yourself doing this business for the next 10 years? Shit made me think, damn, do I see myself building fridges for the next 10 years? Nah. But this right here though, this is me. I'm gonna be around. And so guys, that's my explanation for y'all, man. Why I work with black and brown men. I ain't a racist. I'm just passionate. I serve at a very high level and I'm about building community. So that's what we do. You guys know how to tap in with me. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share with somebody that you know that you feel will find the value to it, right? And of course, if you guys want to tap in with me, I got my tags below. You can tap in with me, Instagram, tapping on my text line. And of course, if you're looking for some coaching to optimize your health, get fit, get your confidence back, you know how to tap in with me for a consultation as well. Peace, fam.